Welcome back to Talking Treasures, a CTV Perth production. We're coming to you from the Old Kalamunda Hotel in Kalamunda. We've got lots more on the show, so let's go have a look what our experts are up to. Here we are with John Stringer, our fine arts expert, for some art chat. Now, John, someone looking to buy some art, where would be the best place for them to start off at?
Well, around Perth there are plenty of private galleries. The better thing, of course, is to buy or to try and locate people who are really reputable. There is an Australian organisation called the Australian Commercial Galleries Association, and there are a number of galleries in Perth that belong to that organisation. They have a little logo and so on. But there are other places. I mean, if you want to buy things that are currently being produced, well, of course, there are galleries around Perth who deal with that. But you can keep your eye also on the art schools, because every year at graduation time, they will do exhibitions of the graduating students.
And a lot of up-and-coming
Oh,
artists.
yes, and so if you want to get in at ground level, that's a very good place to do it, because those people don't have any dealers. The prices are very cheap and so on, and you can pick up things very cheaply there. But of course, if you're buying older things, there are auction houses, but there are dealers also that specialise in works of art that are older.
If someone was going to an auction to buy some art, what type of things would you look for before bidding?
Well, if you're going to an auction, you should go to the viewing, not just go to the auction to bid, but go to the viewing and have a look around and see what they have. And you need to look at things thoroughly and find out what they are. I mean, it depends what you're looking for, how much money you want to spend. But essentially, if you're buying art, the important thing is to try and develop your taste. So you should buy things that you like, or that you find challenging, that you think you're going to help develop your taste. And if you are the first purchaser of a work of art, for instance, if you're buying something out of a student show, you're going to get it at a very advantageous price. So you can afford to make mistakes in that sense. You can figure, oh well, look, $100, $200 or something like that. It's no big deal. And if you have that work for a number of years, let's say you only have it for 5 years, and it costs you $100, well, that's like $20 a year, which is not very much for an artwork.
Yeah.
And I think most people probably would be prepared to spend even a little bit more than that, I hope.
Thank you very much, John. You're watching Talking Treasures, a CTV Perth production at the Kalamunda Hotel. I'm here with Matt Donnelly from Garside and Webb Auctioneers. Matt, what a big collection of cars you have here.
Yeah, if only they were real.
Yes, if only.
Makes my garage look a bit sick, I can tell you. But they're an interesting collection. Most of these are by Dinky and some are by Corgi. So they're very collectible, and they're the sort of thing that probably cost around $40 or $50 new, coming out of the collector shops. These ones here these days still averaging about $10 and $20 at auction, but some of these I've seen sell for $200, $300 and $400, some up to $1,000.
For one car?
Yeah, for one box car. Because sometimes they brought out a lot of limited edition where they'd only bring out 10 of one type. Very collectible. And then a lot of the time they'd bring out 10,000 of a certain car, so they're not so collectible. In time, these will be a good investment. But the thing is, in the meantime, you get to use them and enjoy them in a display cabinet and have them housed. We've pulled them out for lotting, and they're ready to go into auction. We'll average price probably about $15 on each one, but it's someone's collection that every year they've bought another vehicle and added to their collection. So very collectible. The Matchbox Dinkies and the Corgis, and just an interesting little collection. Most of the models are hand painted and boxed and put away. But
why do people who have been collecting things like these over the years suddenly decide to sell them all?
Well, I suppose there's a lot of reasons out there. Some of the times they were bought for investment. These were bought probably a lot cheaper back in the earlier days, and now they're coming up for market. Some are bought for grandchildren, which are then passed on down the line, and they're not wanted, and they turn them into money and utilise the money for a holiday or something like that. But it's a hard question to answer because a lot of people keep their collector's items and a lot of people sell them. I think everybody goes through changes in life where you collect a lot of things, and as the older they get, they want the assets out of their life and they want an easy, free life and stainless steel surfaces. So, the collector bug goes away.
Well, it'll make someone's day when they walk in and see that on the auction floor.
Well, exactly. We'll have, 4 or 5 of the regular dealers in Perth bidding on these, and probably 20 or 30 of the regular collectors coming in to bid on these. So we expect some to bring $100, some to bring $10, but it's affordable for everybody. They're all in mint boxed areas, and a lot of people will buy the vehicle that they perhaps own or perhaps want to own, and it gives you that opportunity of it. But very collectible and great to see in their original boxes, and well looked after, these ones.
Yeah, I want one of these, but a lot bigger.
Yeah, I'd take any one of them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just an interesting collection, and we've seen them a lot more than this, a lot bigger and a lot smaller. When they come through an auction 1 or 2 at a time, they're very hard to advertise, but when people bring in 30 or 40 at a time, it's enough to warrant advertising, which brings all the collectors out, which maximises the price for you.
So is this the type of collection that can bring about really exciting bidding wars in auctions?
They can if the quality is probably better. This is a fairly average range of vehicles, and there's no really rare or limited edition ones here. If they were a lot rarer and limited edition vehicles, you'll see tremendous bidding wars. You'll get bidding wars on these, but low end. I suppose I'm a bit fussy now after all the auctions I've done. It really takes a bit to get me excited, but you will see it, but at a lower degree. These will be something a first-time collector would buy because they can spend $100 and own 10 box cars and have an instant small collection. So great way to start collecting, and it'll lead to bigger and better things, I'm sure.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Matt Donnelly. We've got another nice piece of costume jewellery here from Julie Hayes. This one also looks very popular. You see people wearing this kind of stuff now.
You certainly do. It's very in at the moment. These beads were probably made in the 20s or whatever. This probably didn't start life like this. I'm guessing this necklace has been assembled from old beads. These look like 20s beads. These are certainly, got some age. These are similar vintage. These are a bit earlier. These are about 1890, these teardrop-shaped ones, 1900. But they've been assembled into a very glam necklace.
Do you think that would add value to it, assembling it from a lot of different...
No, it's actually much more in the interests of the piece to be, in its original form. As far as value is concerned, it doesn't necessarily make it terribly wearable. Very often, though, these strands of beads have been broken. They may be only part strands or whatever. I mean, these 3 sets of beads could well have started off in the same necklace. These, and these. These are called Venetian overlays, spangled overlays. There are all sorts of different techniques that they use for decorating the beads. These are called spangled overlays, and they make the bead, and you can see they've got a sort of a twisted overlay on top. Made out of different colours, and then these are jewelled onto the outside, so you get a really decorative effect. Same sort of story here. They take the basic bead and dribble spangled glass, if you like, over the top to make a decorative finish. These ones are lustered. These are a sort of a carnival glass type finish.
How much are you looking to pay for something like this?
You'd probably have to pay, well, at auction, $80 to $100 a strand, sometimes more. Again, it's a fashion item, so if you get 2 girls who've got an outfit that it's going to go with, they may well scrap over it.
Yep.
But we at Hayes Auctioneers sell a huge amount of these things. We would have, in any of our antique auctions, we might have close to 100 strands of good beads every month.
And if it was all on the original setting?
If that was an original strand of Venetian overlays, say like those, graduated strand of Venetian overlays, probably double that, probably a couple of $100 for a nice opera length. That's called an opera length strand. You get your normal short length. Opera length is sort of to the bosom, and then there's the extra long, strands. But that's a useful length. It's sort of halfway between 1 and 2, and you can wear it on the outside of a shirt, and so forth. Very popular.
Add that classiness to it.
This is what they call French jet, which is actually a pseudonym for, or a euphemism for black glass, faceted black glass. It's made to look like Whitby jet, which was a coal byproduct, which is quite different in feel, feels more plasticky really, and is very expensive. But French jet, which is black polished glass, looks the part, does the job, but is a heck of a lot cheaper.
Great. Thank you very much, Jilly.
No worries at all. Thank you.
You've been watching Talking Treasures, a CTV Perth production. My name's Miley Tunnicliffe, and we've been coming to you from the Old Kalamunda Hotel in Kalamunda. Stay tuned next week. We're going to have some more valuables and exciting objects for our experts to have a look at. Matt Donnelly on collectibles, Jilly Hayes on jewellery and silverware, John Stringer on fine arts, and Grant Stone on books and toys. See you next week.